by clause in SQL. When do we use it? We use it when we want to organize the data into groups. Once we get the data into groups, we could then use the aggregate functions, which we discussed in the previous video, to get the summary statistics of the individual groups of the data. Now, this group by can be used on one column or more than one columns, and the output of the group by is a single row for each group. Now, one thing to remember while using group by is we should always include all the columns we declare in the select clause in the group by clause. We need not specify the columns we use in the aggregate functions, but all the non-aggregate columns should be included in the group by clause. Now let's look at some examples. List all vendors and the count of products sold by each vendor. So the data is in two tables, the vendors table and product vendors table. Since we want all vendors and the count of products, we use left outer join to connect these two tables. I'm going to alias vendors table as V and product vendors table as PV. I'm selecting v.vendor_id, v.vendname, and count of pv.product number as number of products sold. From vendors as V, left outer join, product vendors as PV on vendor ID column. And finally, I'm grouping it on vendor ID and vendor name. Remember, I told you all the non-aggregate columns in the select clause should be included in the group by clause. Since vendor ID and vendor name are non-aggregate columns, that is, we did not use any aggregate functions on them, they have to be included in the group by clause. We need not include product number column in the group by clause because we used an aggregate function count on it. In other words, product name is an aggregate column and vendor ID and vendor name are non-aggregate columns. Now if we run this, we get all the vendors and the count of products they sell. Let's look at the next question. Display for each product the product name and the total sales. So the data is in two different tables, products table and order details table. So I'm selecting p.product number, p.product name, and sum of od.quoted price into od.quantity ordered. This is the total sales from products as P, left outer join, order details as OD on product number column. I'm using left outer join because I want the details of all products. And finally, I'm grouping it on product number and product name, which are non-aggregate columns. Now if you run this, we get the details of all the products and the total sales. If you look carefully, you got two products which have null values in the total sales because they've never been ordered so far. If you use inner join in place of left outer join, these two rows or these two products will not be there in the result set. So that is the reason I used a left outer join to get the details of all products, including those products which have never been ordered so far. Let's go to the next question. List for each customer and order date, the customer full name, and the total cost of items ordered on each date. The data is in three different tables: the customers table, orders table, and order details table. So I select concat c.customer first name, c.customer last name as customer full name, o.order date, and sum of od.quoted price multiplied by od.quantity ordered as total cost. From customers as C, and I perform two inner joins, one with orders and order details on customer ID and order number columns, and group by customer first name, customer last name, and order date. So here I did not use the alias name. MySQL actually allows us to use the alias names in the group by clause, but other database systems doesn't allow it. So I'm following the SQL standard convention here. All the individual non-aggregate columns in the select clause to be included in the group by clause. And finally, I'm ordering on customer full name in ascending order and order date on descending order. Now we'll run this to get the details of all the orders placed by customers with respect to date and the total cost of each order. The date is in descending order for each customer. That means the latest order for the customer will be on the first and the oldest order will be on the last, and customer full name is in ascending order. So overall, we've covered how we could use group by to group data into groups based on one or more columns and get the summary statistics of each group. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching.